Mike Hickey with the National Federation of Independent Business. I run the Minnesota program.
Okay, and Mike, what's your reaction? What the governor had to say?
Unbelievable. You could not do a worse thing for Minnesota's job climate, investment climate right now. This would literally be the highest taxes by far in the nation at 13.95% on both the income tax, and I don't see any way that could be decoupled. The capital gains tax could be decoupled from that, so you'd have the highest capital gains tax by far, exceeding California, Hawaii, New Jersey, and Oregon, and income tax. You could not make Minnesota more unappealing to people, and it's really unbelievable solution.
The governor's main theme on this was fairness. The tax incidence study shows that the middle class is paying, and as a proportional share of their income, much more than the people on the high end. How do you react to that?
That's one way people look at it. They've got this strong notion of what fairness is. We look at reality. These are tax rates across the states, and the entrepreneurs don't really share that notion of fairness or try to understand that study or that approach. They look at what states tax people at, and it's really, I don't think it's a realistic way to look at things. What percent someone's paying of what? They got to look at what the rate is in different states, and when you make
you're just talking about percents that are being paid here.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking. Let's be clear here. You're talking about percentage of being paid, but we're also talking about you're talking about a tax rate, and we're also talking about the percentage of your income that you're paying. You're saying one is okay and one's not okay to look at.
No, I'm saying that the real rate that people assess people in different states is what entrepreneurs look at. They really don't share that notion of fairness for whatever groups believe in that so strongly, and they look at what the real tax rates are and what they pay in Minnesota versus somewhere else. And this is making Minnesota as unappealing as you possibly could make it when you get that far high in the #1 rate. It's unbelievable.
Now, most of the jobs in Minnesota are created, and in the country, are created by small shops. We're talking about businesses that are probably 50 employees, 10 employees, or less. Most of those people are not making $1 million a year. How is this going to help create jobs if we're focused just on? I mean, how is that going to hurt jobs if we're focused on the people who are making $1 million or more a year?
This proposal goes as low as $150,000.
Right. But that's gross taxable, right?
That's the new 10.95 rate.
But that is not the gross income number. The gross income number he gave.
He speculated 200,000. It's
right.
going to be different on everybody's.
Right,
farm.
but it's
the threshold in the law is going to be 150.
Right, but that we know when we're comparing apples to apples, and you tell people 150. It's not if you're making 150. It's your gross taxable income, correct?
It is, and so it's going to be different for everybody. So some people will be a little bit higher than 150. That's a very low threshold, and there's a lot of successful entrepreneurs who are above that. Yeah, they're not going to like this, and this sends a really negative signal.
But the government here study says that's 95% of the people are making less than that.
Well, you're talking about the population. You've got to look at the small business community and who's creating the jobs. When we had the debate on the federal tax issue just recently, I believe above 250,000, the quote from Paul Ryan, chair of the Budget Committee in the U.S. House of Representatives, was half the small business income in the United States was going to be impacted. So you need to sort out entrepreneurs versus just average workers. And some of those incomes are high, and these are the people who's creating jobs. Somebody who's above 150,000 is negatively affected by this, or somebody who just laid off a bunch of employees and took no money out of the business last year. And so you've got to look at who's creating the jobs. Who are we looking to improve the conditions of this state and our economy and employment? People who are going to be affected by this, obviously, not people who have a business and a downward trend who aren't making any money.
So do you have any statistics that show that most jobs in the state are created by people who are pulling in more than $250,000?
I don't. Those were federal numbers. That was numbers for the United States. Okay. But clearly, people who are making money, who have an income that are affected so negatively by this proposal are going to be the people who are creating jobs or retaining jobs, not people who aren't taking any money out of the business, have a business in a downward spiral, are ready to close the doors and laying off people. Those people who aren't making any money in a business generally aren't doing very well and don't have a very good future.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. We've got Republican responses coming up here, so we got to get over that.
Sure.
Thank you so much, though, for your time.
Okay,
folks, we're going to zip over to the Republican